Hello everyone, hope you're doing okay. So, my next guest is someone very different, not in the musical theatre industry, in the performing arts industry, not a director, a producer, or a choreographer, but a baker. You will recognise this person from a show called The Great British Bake Off. She made it to the tent last year and she was fantastic, did everyone in Wales very proud. Here's my interview with Michelle. Start with you. Where does your love of baking come from?
Okay, well, I first started baking watching my mum grow up, obviously, when I was young. My mum used to home bake everything from scratch. We grew up, obviously, on a small holding, so all the meals and the bakes and stuff we had were homemade. So I started helping my mum, and it went from there.
Oh my gosh. So did you have like cows and pigs and stuff like that?
Yeah, we had a lot of sheep, we had horses and pigs, yeah.
Oh my god. Do you ride horses then? Or
Oh no, I used to. When I was younger, I used to. But obviously, as we've gone older, my sister left, and then obviously I left, and then the horses went. So we didn't sort of get any more after that. But yeah, I've had a brilliant home life.
oh my gosh. Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know
No.
that. So what kind of things did you bake with her then?
We used to start like my mum always says, I say that I learned from her, but she always says, oh my God, I'm just way more adventurous. But she'd start off with like lemon drizzle, Victoria sponge, and then I'd always want to try and mix it up a bit. So maybe add a bit of food colouring or make a marble cake. And I always tried to push my mum to do something a little bit different. And it just went from there, really.
Yeah. So did she cook like savoury as well?
Yeah, what I did when I was trying to work out how old I was. I was quite young, and there was a little bus library used to come to my primary school. And oh my God, this sounds like child slavery, but I used to wash my dad's car for £1. So I spent weeks and weeks and weeks building up this money pot, and I went and bought my first little cookbook from this little bus library, and I've still got it. It's got no cover on it. It's sort of brown, but it's well used. And I used to make lasagna out of it, chili con carne. It had like the way you set a table. Do you know if you ate at a restaurant? So it taught you everything from knives and forks to glasses and everything. It was so nice.
Oh my gosh. So did you from a young age, did you think you always wanted to go into something to do with baking and cooking or not?
No, I didn't. I was actually a hairdresser. So when I left school, I went and did hairdressing. Well, I did hair and beauty in college. I didn't finish the course because then I started an apprenticeship with hairdressing instead. And then, I don't know, as my son has grown older, he's a bit of a fussy eater. So I always used to get him to watch or help. And then when he could see what goes into something, he'd be more willing to try. So having a fussy eater, I think, has made me more, I don't know, just more of a home cook, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you try everything to make them eat the food, right?
Definitely. But it's worked. It's worked. He's 15 now, but he will try anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And does he have a favourite thing that you cook?
He loves homemade pasta. So he loves making pasta with me. So he's actually taken GCSE cookery. Well, so he's doing that now. And his teacher's been setting him some tasks. So he had to make farfalle pasta. So he's been making that with me and tagliatelle. I know. But the next thing is he's got to debone whole chicken. So I think I need a bit of help with that one.
And does he come home with things that you are a bit like, I don't know how to do that?
No, I think because I've got a sort of well, basic knowledge for everything more or less. So if he says like make a cheese sauce, I'll know how. And we made bayo buns for the first time yesterday. So he enjoyed watching the whole process because obviously he understands the first part was like making bread, and then obviously the second proof was different. So it's nice teaching him different things.
Yeah, it's nice as well that you can like combine that together. You can do it together. It's that like fun bonding thing that you get to do with each other.
Yeah, I love it. And because he is such a foodie and so is my husband, we do cook and bake a lot of stuff. I mean, oh gosh, since lockdown, I've baked something every single day. So we'll be rolling out of isolation this rate.
You know what? We like baking and stuff in our house, but we just don't do it very often because we just don't have that much time, you know, between us, or like we're all coming and going. But yeah, during lockdown there's a lot of us that are either working from home or just not able to work at the minute. We've been the same. Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it?
Oh yeah, so much food, and like you're just getting over one, like we'd just be finishing a cake or like and somebody will be like, oh, you can smell it, what are you baking? Oh well, I thought I'd bake, because it's something to do, isn't it? Like it is something you can do, but also like, yeah, we've just eaten so much food.
I know, it's mad, but I think what this has taught me by being in lockdown is that I've gone through the whole cupboards, the freezer, the fridge, so I'm using everything, and if anything, we're wasting less.
Yeah, that's really good. That's another thing, I think. Yeah, you're trying to find inventive ways, because you can't go to the shops as much. You're trying to find ingredients that maybe you wouldn't use, or things that you know, you usually use this but you don't have it, so we'll try and invent and use this. Yeah, I think that's the same.
Yeah, and the substitutions, this is what I mean. I've done some Instagram live videos teaching people how to bake certain things, and you know, someone might pop up and say I haven't got buttermilk, so I can show them how to make it, or someone's short on maybe self-raising flour, so I just say, well, it was plain with some baking powder. So it's nice to teach people to use their things the same way.
Yeah, and do you enjoy teaching people how to cook?
I do. I've got quite a few followers that message me on Instagram privately. I've had a message today about coffee and walnut cake, so I've been helping her with that today. So, you know, a lot of people ask, and I think it's really nice. And the whole Bake Off thing was, for me, is if I could encourage more people to bake, then it's a win-win, isn't it?
Yeah, and talking about Bake Off, you're leading my questions. It's lovely. It's amazing when that happens, because otherwise I'm like, I don't have to do that. What made you apply for Bake Off? Did somebody put the application in for you, or did you just go, do you know what, I'm going to throw caution to the wind and I'm just going to go for it?
Well, it's mad. I don't know if you know how many times I applied, because I've never kept it a secret. So the year I got on was my 4th time of applying. But I know. So 4 years ago, I put my first application in, and I got right the way through to the final stages of audition. So I thought, gosh, I must be quite close, because I know that you start from thousands and thousands of entries, so you go to like hundreds, and then you're down to like 50. So I knew if I could get that far, I thought, well, I must be quite close. So I tried again, and I got to the same stage.
Oh my God.
And then I tried for my 3rd time. I said, right, that's it, my last try. And I tried, and I was reserve. So if anybody was to drop out that year, I would have gone in their place. Obviously, nobody did. So I nearly didn't apply last year. But my husband said the day before the application closed, he said, just give it a go. So I said, oh, I don't really know, because obviously the process is long. And he said, just try. So I did. And I had a call back within a week, and it snowballed from there.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I think, you know, that is something that you have to teach people, resilience. And I think a lot of the time it's the same very much in the industry that I'm in. You know, you say to the children all the time, okay, you might have auditioned but you didn't get it. Doesn't mean to say that you're not good enough. It's just you weren't what they were looking for that time, or there was so many people similar to yourself, or reality is they just didn't have the space.
No, and that's what I try to say. It's the same with my son. Obviously, when I say to him, you know, if he doesn't get selected for something, I'll say, well, you've got to keep on trying. And I always say, look at me. And I always say, just keep on trying and you will get there in the end.
Yeah. And what was it like when you got the phone call to say, yep, you're on?
Oh my gosh. Well, I remember I was at home and my husband was in work, and I rang him to say, I've had a call. And he's like, oh gosh, was it a yes or a no? And I just couldn't say anything. And he said, I'm coming home. So he came straight home, and he was just so happy. I think it's because I've been so close, you know, 3 times. And then it was just mad. I mean, I was super emotional. I was, you know, obviously super chuffed. And then we told my son, and then I had to keep a secret. And that was the hardest thing.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I know like for things like Britain's Got Talent and stuff like that, you have to keep it a secret for quite a long time, because there's between when you're doing it and then when it airs, there's quite a long period of time in between.
Yeah, there was, because I found out in, oh gosh, I was going to say it was like March, April time. Everything was sort of going really, really quickly, and then we started filming, and then obviously it wasn't on telly until September, the end of August, September. So, and even the final got filmed in that time as well, and anyone who came to the final, obviously with the bakers, weren't allowed to tell anybody who won, and that was so difficult.
Yeah, that's the thing, because you just want to share the excitement and the enjoyment, the fun that you had. So it must have been weird when it was on the telly, because you've done it such a long time ago that you were like, oh yeah, I bet people were like, oh my God, that's amazing that you're on this. And you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and to be honest, now looking back, I felt like I was never on it because, like a year's gone. I know so much has happened in a year, but it's just the time has gone so fast. And when you watch it on telly, it's totally different than when you're there in the tent because obviously the show gets edited because it's a TV program at the end of the day. And that was quite hard to watch because you know that some things weren't in or some things were in. You're like, oh, I remember that happening. So that was quite difficult to come to terms with.
Yeah, and what was it like being in the tent? Was it chaotic?
Yes, it was. You don't see half of it on TV. Like the tent is huge, and then obviously you've got the bakers on their benches, and then you've got loads and loads of people running up and down, trying to get you washing away because obviously so much mess. There's so much things to wash, and people running over if we're out of flour, and you don't see any of that on the TV. So and you've got a cameraman and like a person on you the whole time and just chatting to you, and when you're trying to bake and talk at the same time, it's quite stressful.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that was something new to you, right? Because you've never had a camera in your face before while you were doing something.
No, and against the clock, it was, you always try to push yourself further. So obviously a brief would be, for example, cake week was make a cake with a significant amount of dried fruit. And then that was the brief. So you obviously want to push yourself and get as much done in that time as possible. But it was really good. It was stressful, but everything is stressful. But it was obviously so much fun as well.
Yeah, and did you have to stay wherever it's filmed? Did you have to stay there for the amount of time that you were filming, or was it done in just quite short blocks?
No, you filmed every weekend, and obviously until you were eliminated, then sort of thing. So yeah, we'd be away, and I think I found that quite hard because I was obviously from Wales and so far away. I had to maybe stay an extra night sometimes, and I'd miss my family. But I always kept reminding myself that it wasn't forever. I know it was stressful at the time and being away from home and long hours, but it was worth it.
Yeah, and have you made lots of great friends from it?
Yeah, it's been lovely. I mean, all of us bakers are in a WhatsApp group, so there's something on there every day. I mean, last night Amelia was struggling because her yeast was dead, so she was trying to make pizza. So, everyone chips in with a conversation, or Elena's dog ate her spinach stuff last night. So, things like that is quite funny. It's nice to keep in touch with them all.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. When you do something like that, it's the same as when we do shows and things. You like to hope that you'd keep in touch with people, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. So it's nice to hear that you do still keep in touch with each other.
Yeah, I speak to a few of them more than the others because it's time at the end of the day. But I spoke to David 2 nights ago, so I did a good chat and a catch up with him. I spoke to Priya and Elena as well this week, so we're really close and it's really nice.
It's nice when you're all in the same boat, so you all know what each other's feeling at the time. I guess because it was quite stressful. When you are in stressful situations, you do bond friendships.
Yeah, and I think, because we spent the weekends together, when we weren't filming, we were having dinner together. So it was nice. A lot of us got on, well, just really well. And the whole production team and everyone was so lush.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. You see, obviously, like the judges and everything, and you think, oh, that was really harsh or everything. But was it just for the camera? Were they actually quite nice people?
No, they're really lovely people. All of them, were really lovely. But obviously, at the end of the day, they're judges. So they are quite, what I would say, quite savage and harsh with their comments. But yeah, but they're really lovely. All of them were really nice.
Yeah. And do you think it's been nice as a platform for you to do other things now? It's like a good springboard.
Yeah, it has been. People go into Bake Off wanting a career and stuff from it. But my husband and I have got a printing studio in Tenby. So I always said that I didn't go into Bake Off to make a career for myself because, I love my job. But at the end of the day, I've been really lucky with the offers and stuff I've had. And I've had a lot of work from it. So if it wasn't for Bake Off, I wouldn't be where I am now, really.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. If you've always baked and always done stuff, but then that's given you the platform and people go, oh, look at this person, you know, we didn't know existed, but for you, you've done it anyway.
Yeah, and that's what I said to one of the girls that I messaged on Instagram that I've made friends with through that. I mean, she put a thing up the other day saying she's got 2,000 followers, and I was like, wow, because to me, before I was on Bake Off, I had 200, and you know, I didn't get any higher than that, and I'd be sharing my bakes as I am now, but I just wouldn't have, you know, the audience that I had then. But it's so nice that people message and, you know, comment on stuff, and it is really good.
Yeah. And do you have like a culinary or baking influence, somebody that you love their stuff?
I learned a lot from Tom Kerridge and stuff because we ate at his restaurant, and I've got a cookery book and I love his sort of style. Nigella I really love as well. I just love her home style and, you know, the home cookery stuff. But I mean, with me, I love a lot of things from the garden, so we grow a lot of vegetables. So I like that. So I sort of, you know, combine it all, and I love local produce and things. So I make the most of what we've got.
Yeah, definitely. And do you have a favourite thing that you love to bake, or a catalogue of things that if somebody says to you, right, I want you to make me a cake, do you have a go-to, right, this is what I'll make?
It depends on the occasion. I love carrot cake, and carrot cake was the cake that got me Star Baker in week 1. So I would make that all day long. I love bread. I make loads of, you know, anything with dough. I mean, like the Bayo buns, loaves of bread, sourdough. We love bread as a family. Bagels, all of that sort of stuff. I'm wide and varied.
And do you have a favourite thing to eat? Like, is there something that you have like a go-to? You said you like bread. Is it like a go-to? You love that?
My son loves milk loaf. So if we've got milk, like a lot of milk, we'll do like a milky bread loaf. That's really delicious. I love crumbles and stuff. You know, eat like easy things, like quick things sometimes, or just the odd cupcakes or anything.
Yeah. And what's the best thing? Has anybody ever asked you to like bake a cake? Has there been a bake that you've been really proud of, that you've been like, that looks brilliant?
Yeah, my princess tartar cake is my favourite thing. Do you know what one of those are?
No.
Well, it's sort of it's like a Genoese sponge. So it's really thin sponges, and it's got creme patisserie, jam, and cream in it, and it's made in the shape of a dome, and it's really pretty. So it's covered in a marzipan, so it's encased in homemade marzipan. So I like I like to make jam and things like that. So over the years, and usually for Ben's birthday, I will make a princess tartar cake, and I'll usually change the colour or the jams. And I love making, well, either edible flowers from the garden or sugar crafts. So I make little flowers and berries and things out of that to match what's in the cake.
Literally sounds amazing.
It's really good. That recipe.
I'm terrible. Like, everyone says to me, have you got a sweet tooth or savoury? Like, I always switch between, depending on what people are talking about. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds good. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'm the same, because that book was, so Bake Off had asked, that was in the new Bake Off book. They asked if any of us had any special recipes, and I was like, oh, this is mine. But it is a little bit hard work, but it's so good, and it's really nice to see it in the Bake Off book.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I was just going to ask if you'd had any of your recipes published or anything had been put into book. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. And also, just when Bake Off was starting and stuff, a lot of the recipes got shared in the newspaper, so that was everywhere. I've done some partnerships with brands that have gone in their magazines and on their website, so things are going good.
Yeah. And would you like to do tutorials? I know like people, so my friends and I, when I lived in London, we went to the cake and bake show, and there was like lots of people that did, that's what I mean, I like cake. And he's even worse than I am. Literally, we went around, there was fudge and everything, and it was just like, oh, we were
Wow.
in. And would you be up for something like that if somebody approached you? Would you want to do that kind of thing?
Yeah, I would love to. I've been to Cardiff a couple of times and done like a pudding club. So when people come and they get tickets and they come and watch you bake something, they get to try it at the end. But I love teaching people. So, you know, in a few years down the line, hopefully I'll have, I don't know, maybe open somewhere up or like hire somewhere and do little events and teach people how to make things, even if it's just basic things to start, and work your way up to see what people like.
Yeah, awesome.
And this morning, I've got big bags under my eyes. Alfie wanted to go and watch the sunrise. So at 4:20 this morning, I woke up. I actually just pulled on some clothes and a coat, and we went to the beach. So Ben, Alfie and I and the dog went down the beach, and we watched the sunrise, and it was so pretty. So things like that we wouldn't usually have done, because obviously work or school and things. So, we've made really good memories during lockdown, really.
Yeah, and what else have you been doing? So you've been baking and just being with one another in lockdown. Have you created anything? Have you created any new recipes that you're like, oh, exciting?
Oh, and I've done loads of recipes. I've done some Instagram live. So I joined a couple with like Henry from Bake Off, Priya, and then I did one with a lady called Cyan, and we've been teaching people sort of my Welsh cake recipe or soda bread, like easy things that people can bake along to. I've really enjoyed that. We've extended our veg patch, so we've been building more raised beds. So we've made, we've done a lot of lovely things.
Yeah. And do you have a favourite colour?
Black.
Oh my God, my favourite colour. I know I've got black on underneath this. I am literally all black. I've got black jeans, black top, and I was like, I need to put something else on apart from black.
Oh, I live in black, and I think, a little bit of white, but I think, I don't know, I just love the colour.
Yeah, I think as well, like you can put anything with it. So like if you want a red lipstick, you can put red, or like pink. And like I like a good accent colour, so like maybe like a bright pink scarf, or like
Nice.
shoes maybe. But yeah, I'm always in black. Everybody always rats on me.
My mum is the same, until I rock up to meet my sister, and I'm usually in, say, black tights, a little black dress, and some leopard boots, and she's like, oh no, that's just not good. I think the thing is, when you wear black all the time, it doesn't really look like you're wearing anything else. So you could wear the different dress all week, but it'll still look like you're in the same stuff. But I don't care. We'll stick to black together.
It's what makes us roll. It's all fine. It's all fine.
And black hair.
I don't know. I don't know what colour my hair is at the moment. It's not. Ugh. That's the thing I found in lockdown. Like everything's going by, isn't it? Like my hair just like I can't even see the bottom of it. Look, it just grows like wildfire. And like I used to have my nails done all the time, so of course I've got to have them. You have them taken off and them. So I'm now looking at nails without my gel, and it's like. Ugh.
Oh, I've never been one for nails. I've just got short nails. I keep them short because of baking and with things going underneath them. I don't do anything with my nails.
Yeah, but it's like little home comforts, isn't it? Little things that you do that you miss, I think, yeah, just going out and like to a restaurant, and when it all kind of like goes back to normal, we'll all be at restaurants all like not knowing what to do.
I know, and I think that's the scary thing, is because we've been like this for so long now, it's knowing, to me this almost feels normal. I've been popping to the shop to get the essentials, but even there I'm too scared to stop or speak to anybody, and I do wonder how long that'll take to change.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, this, like you say, has become our new normal, and yeah, you're kind of like comfy within it now, and then but it took such a long time to get into it. You're like, what's the transition going to be like when we have to come out of it?
Yeah, I mean, the school thing has been a big thing for me because my son will be doing GCSEs next year. So the workload has been insane, to be fair. And I sit there with him on the computer to try and help because the work is really hard. And, when you log on in the morning, there's like 5 things to do and they reckon you can take an hour each. There's no way. So we're there for hours.
And I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's trying to find the motivation, because that's a really difficult thing for anyone to do. But when you're, still really young and you haven't got that teacher there, okay, they're there to guide you through like email and maybe Zoom or whatever. But that's really difficult. You're sat there on your own and you wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning and you've got all these things to do. It's quite overwhelming, isn't it?
Yeah, I've said that, and obviously this year is so important for him for work, and it'd be good if he got back to school to have the teacher there. But also, I do worry, what's going to happen when they do go back to school, and how are you going to social distance and things. So we'll just have to wait and see.
No, that's the thing with like my classes and stuff, where I'm quite lucky that I do some online tutorials and some one-to-ones with some of like the private students that I have, but our actual group I seen them in 9 weeks.
Oh.
Oh.
Gosh, and I guess it's because they're different ages, a lot of them won't have certain social media platforms, and it's difficult, and then you're gonna have to get in touch with the parents, and it makes it just harder, doesn't it?
So much harder. I mean, I'm lucky that the parents are so supportive, and I've done like little fun things for them to do, and I'll post a video and I'm like, right, now you've got to do it, or things like that. So that's really nice. And it's nice to see parents have like sent me messages and pictures of them singing and stuff. Nice. But yeah, my plan was that we were going to have to do the show, reschedule it before the summer, but it's just not looking likely, honestly.
No, and until we know what, I know the UK obviously is different, and then it comes to Wales and it's different here. So it's because the rules are changing or trying to change. We don't know where we are, and until we do, I think because there's no set time to it, is there?
No, exactly.
That's the hardest thing.
Yeah, I think you've just got to, although it's frustrating, you've just got to appreciate that everyone's in the same boat. Nobody knows.
No.
Just roll with it. And I said, yeah, our show that should have been in March might well be in December, but
but the kids love it, isn't it? And I am going to have to come. I've been promising for ages, but I will be there.
Yeah, so I don't worry. Yeah, no, they'd love it. They would love it. Yeah, because we are lucky. I message a lot of people and say, look, just come down, or just send them a video or something, and they're very lucky that they've had lots of really cool experiences with different people. And I think I've said to them, like, we'll just make this show a little bit extra special. So I'm still racking my brain as to what it is I can do to make it a little bit more special. But I think honestly, just being there on the stage together and having their family and friends and people coming to watch will be extra special.
Yeah, especially after all this, for not being together for so long, it will be really special.
And my last question for you is, what's next after lockdown? Do you have like a plan of what you're going to do, or are you just going to carry on with where you're at now?
I don't know. I think what's been hard is obviously I had food demonstrations and shows and stuff coming up that have obviously been postponed or cancelled. I'm not sure if a lot of them, will reschedule or not. So things like that, I'm sad to have not done, because I was really looking forward to them. So I'm going to keep on baking, keep on sharing recipes, and just see where I go from there.
Yeah, I think the thing is, once we slowly get out of it, people will start rebooking things, and people will start, rescheduling lots of different things. So I'm sure things will get back up and running.
Hopefully. It'd be nice if you.
Yeah. It'll probably be like Christmas, but then you can do like bakes, right? Seasonal bakes.
Wow, I love festive baking. It's my favourite.
Everybody loves Christmas, right? I'm terrible. I'm such a sucker for Christmas. So.
And me. I just love all the spice and all the warmth and stuff. I just love all of that.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for taking.
You're welcome, and I'm sorry it took so well to connect. I don't know what was wrong.
It's lovely. You've been a star. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No
I'll see you again.
Yes.
Take care.
Bye. Wasn't that fantastic? I hope you enjoyed that. Somebody different telling us all about her journey through the tent, baking, all her exceptional achievements. Keep up the good work, Michelle. Keep baking. Send some of those yummy bakes our way. More fantastic guests still to come. Keep smiling, everyone. Keep sharing. Help us share a smile. Take care. Bye-bye.